Day 2. After a wonderful night's sleep in the heart of Carlisle, I was up and out at the crack of dawn. I can't exactly remember why I chose to walk from west to east, but I am sure I had a reason at the planning stage. What I didn't realise at the time, though, was that you don't actually get to see the wall until you are quite far into the trail. Being very early on a Sunday, I went to find a coffee and had a little explore of Carlisle in the quiet of the morning. The wall would come in its own time. It felt wonderful and magical, and even though it added an extra 2.5 miles to the walk before I got back onto the path, it was so very worth it. In Rickaby Park stands the tall war memorial, dedicated to those from Cumberland and Westmoreland who served in the Great War, later expanded to honour World War II and other conflicts. Built in 1922, it's a solemn tribute set in the peaceful surroundings of the River Eden, a place of remembrance and reflection for all who visit.
And this is what it's all about. 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It's been raining in the night, everything's wet, so fresh, the world is alive. Feeling fully infused right now. Hoping the rain holds out. It's just hit and miss all day depending on where I am, so yeah, I'm kind of expecting it. But if I don't come on, I'll get it. If I miss it, so far so good, fingers crossed. And it said it was coming in about 9, so we've got a couple of hours. I guess what's going to happen now is I'll have a cut to me walking in the sun, or a cut to me walking in the rain. Future John will know, and future John will be looking back with a wry smile on his face, remembering the beauty.
Leaving Carlisle, I came upon a tower. It could be known as the Solway Tower. It's a historical building with a unique design, and it was likely used as a watchtower or for storage. It's quite an interesting landmark, and the few I asked knew little about it. I was still very much keeping my eyes peeled for the wall and at the same time watching out for rain. I still had no idea when I would see it, and I didn't want to use the internet, so it would be a nice surprise. In this clip, I'm expressing my fear of both cows and rain. Pitching a tent is not so fun with either in the vicinity. I had a campsite booked called Coombe Crag, and that was my finish point for the day. That was around 30 kilometres from the start, so the need to press forward and march down these long roads was strong. I imagined Romans doing the very same, and I really felt connected to the history. And scared of the cows. At 8:40, I stopped for a well-earned Tetley, much like the Romans would have done back then, I'm sure. My last view of the River Eden as I head into the village of Low Crosby and past the Stag Inn. Dating back to the late 17th century, its sandstone walls and slate roof have weathered time, earning it a Grade 2 listing for its architectural significance. Once part of the state management scheme during World War I, this inn played a unique role in regulating alcohol consumption in wartime Britain. Whether sharing stories of its past or enjoying a hearty meal, visitors to the Stag Inn become part of its enduring legacy.
I'm actually feeling really lucky right now. Just under 8 miles so far today. 7.65 to be exact, including diversion for coffee, but still no rain. I was looking at the weather yesterday and I was pretty certain I would have been soaked by now. It's saying at 10 o'clock there's potential for precipitation. Hold on, what's going on? Are we going down here? It does say that way. Guessing it is this way. So far, so good. I've got a feeling I'm going to get to the bottom of this bit. He's just going to be able to go through there anyway. Of course you are. Of course you are.
Well, that was pointless. Once, whilst walking through a field with Sophie, we were swamped by cows. They charged across the field to where we were crossing, and it was terrifying. They were braying and getting into our space and clearly wanted out of the gate we were headed to. They converged upon us and I really thought I was going to be trampled. There must have been 30 or 40 cows, and since then I have had a healthy fear of cows. I get scared witless when crossing a shared field. As I crossed through here, my heart was pounding. I wanted to run, to drop my pack and make a dash for the gate. The cows were massive, their eyes fixed on me, and I couldn't tell if they were curious or annoyed. I'd read that this part of the path might involve walking through the herds, but reading about it and standing there surrounded were two very different things. I had no choice but to keep moving, every step deliberate, my nerves on edge the entire time.
Oh, there's something you don't see every day as well. I think they're the extras from the never-ending story. What's going on? Oh. The tiny yet pretty village of Newtown. A big thank you and a big shout out to Hadrian's Wool Snack Shed that has given me the healthy options this morning. Oh, it looks like the rain starts. Thank you very much, Hadrian's Wool Snack Shed. Now let me just quickly show you guys inside so you get a better idea of what it's about. There you go, everything you need for what is a welcome stop. Just had me wondering where to go there, but... With such a variety of scenery and pathways, I was thoroughly enjoying this part of the walk and tentatively awaiting the two things that were missing, the rain and the wall itself. As I passed midday, I had a feeling that either would not be far away.
Leaving Newtown, I headed back into our wonderful and green countryside, eager to see what the trail might bring my way. Beneath a sky of tempered grey, I wander forth through nature's sway. Fields unbroken stretch and gleam, an endless path, a waking dream. The heavens murmur, clouds delay, rain's soft threat keeps peace at bay. Yet far ahead, where hope stands tall, I long to glimpse the ancient wall. Each step a verse, each breath a rhyme, carved by the hands of endless time. Through emerald waves and whispers deep, I walk where memories softly sleep. Cam Beck is a tributary of the River Irthing. It's a smaller river that flows through a picturesque area where I came across a gentle man-made waterfall of sorts. A great spot to have another break, and the sound of the water really reminded me of the impending threat of rain. Feeling particularly brave, I sauntered past these threatening wild beasts as they bared their teeth and eyeballed me up. Yeah, what are you looking at? Think you're hard, do you? Leaving the dangerous pasture behind, I travelled through the tiny village of Walton. Then I took a brief few steps on the road before returning to the peaceful hues of green. And then, at exactly 2:16 p.m, I saw it. Hadrian's Wall. It wasn't announced by a bold sign or flashy words. It didn't need to be. The wall itself stood there, ancient and commanding, like a silent guardian of the past. The way the light hit it, the way it stretched endlessly. It was as if history had whispered directly to me, pulling me into its story. Well, in my mind anyway. In reality, I was completely underwhelmed. The first drops fell gently, almost teasing, before the rain turned relentless, soaking the fields as I trudged on toward the campsite. Each step grew heavier, my boots sinking into the damp earth, the weight of the weather pressing down on me. The thought of pitching my tiny tent in this downpour felt like an impossible task, and my spirits, like the sky, darkened. Doubt crept in with every gust of wind and shiver. Camping along the wall had seemed like such a romantic idea, until now. As the rain lashed against me, I couldn't help but imagine the comfort of a warm room, dry clothes, and shelter from the storm. But it was too late, the day slipping away with no alternative in sight. Committed to the campsite, I pressed on, bracing against the elements and hoping the rain would show mercy before then. Then, to lift my spirits, I came across Piper Syke Turret, also known as Turret 51A, is a fascinating piece of Hadrian's Wall history. Built shortly after AD 122, it sits just east of a stream called Piper Syke. Originally part of the turf wall before being replaced with stone, this turret played a key role in the Roman frontier. As the day drew to a close, with over 30 kilometres behind me, I finally stumbled into Coombe Crag campsite. The rain was relentless, sheets of water pouring down, soaking me to the bone. The thought of pitching my tent in this weather felt like pure misery. I knocked loudly on the door where the owner lived. The woman who answered looked at me with a mix of pity and understanding. She could clearly see my exhaustion and distress, and then, with a kind smile, she made the most wonderful offer of my life. I could hardly believe it. Her kindness turned what felt like a nightmare into an evening I'll never forget.
Complete bonus. Rather than camping, the lady has offered me her abandoned caravan to stay the night. And while it looks a little bit off-coloured outside, there's no gas, there's no water. Inside, oh my god, I'm so chuffed. £10 for the night. Got a sleeping bag. It's warm. There's no electric. Got me lights. And come on. It's dry. What a touch. I was expecting to... Oh, there's a fire alarm somewhere that needs the battery taken out. I was expecting to be trying to set up in the rain, but check it out. Home from home.